Hey loves, so welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Alestra. I'm also the founder of Positive Pathways. That is my HSV support community. If you're looking for support, if you are interested in healing your body the natural way, or if you're trying to prioritize your mental and emotional health, click the link in my bio and click where it says join Positive Pathways Healing Discord. Let us see you there. So the other day I spoke about oral sex in HSV. So having oral sex with someone who is negative, HSV negative, while you are positive, right? Well, okay, cool. Great starting point. Great starting point. But let's really talk. I took some notes and I want to share the transmission rates with you guys because I want you guys to understand what you guys are up against, because a lot of people are in their head a lot when it comes to being intimate with their partners. Like they want to do it, but they're scared. And what did I tell you guys the other day about being afraid and overthinking while trying to be intimate with someone? You kind of ruin the experience. You're not there, right? You're tense. You're not enjoying the moment. I've always thought, I mean, you know, I'm abstinent, celibate, whatever. But when I was intimate, the whole thing is to have an experience, right? To be connecting with this other person on another level. And it's supposed to be enjoyable. It's supposed to be like the great escape, right? Where nothing else matters in that moment. Like whatever stress, whatever troubles, whatever just rolls off my back, I'm here, locked in, right? So we don't want to go into it overthinking, stressed out about, oh my gosh, I might give it to them. No, because you ruin the experience also too. It impacts your performance. You can't perform well. You can't do all your tricks, because I know some of y'all got tricks. You can't do all your tricks if you're in your head, right? So let's discuss the transmission rates. So hold on, let me look at my phone because I cannot memorize this by heart. I am so sorry. Okay, so let's start with male to female. So a male who has HSV to a female who's negative. Okay. So if you don't use any condoms, no dental dams, no nothing, and no antivirals, it's a 10% transmission rate, okay? With only using protection, so a dental dam, a condom, you're looking at 5%. With antiviral, it drops you down to like 2 to 3%. And then if you use both, it takes you down to less than 1%, okay? Now, this is for HSV 2, by the way, guys. And then for female to male, so a female who has HSV to a male who is negative. So without any protection, y'all don't have any protection, she not doing any suppression therapy, it is 4% per year. With you just using a condom or a dental dam, it's gonna be 2% per year. And with a daily antiviral only, 1 to 2% per year. And then with both antiviral and the protection, you're looking at less than 1% per year. You guys, listen, the odds are in your favor. Those are really good numbers, right? Now, keep in mind, I did not mention lysine, monolaurin, black seed oil, oregano, soursop leaves, whole cloves. And the reason I did not mention that is because there's not enough studies out to say what those transmission rates would be if you're taking all of that. However, I would argue to say that the lysine, monolaurin, black seed oil, oregano, all those things, the holistic suppression therapy, right? That it would be around the same thing as your antivirals, okay? But that's just, there's no research studies. I want you guys to understand that there's no research studies. Also, I want to clarify, because a lot of people do not know this. You can have HSV1, which is typically cold sores, right? You can have that around your genitalia, as well as you can have HSV2 around here. Also, too, you can have an outbreak anywhere. Like on your neck, on your chest, your butt, your foot, your toe, your stomach, wherever you come into contact, right? Now that that's out the way, I want you guys to understand this. Asymptomatic viral shedding, right? This is why I always say it's safe to always assume you're contagious. Whilst we are doing things to mitigate the risk of transmission, just always assume that there's a risk. When you assume that there's a risk, you can't go wrong because you're going to always move along the side of caution. But with that being said, the shedding, when we're talking about in your genital area, you're more likely to shed more frequently with HSV2 genitally than you are with HSV1 genitally, if that makes any sense. So keep that in mind. And I know yesterday I was speaking on, again, oral sex, and I was saying that it's spread more frequently than HSV2, right? HSV1, orally, and with oral sex. Now, when it comes to penetration, okay, penetration, HSV2 is more likely to spread than HSV1. Also, too, with those who have HSV1 genitally, typically they have fewer outbreak occurrences. They don't have that many. So it does make sense for someone who does have HSV2 down there in the genitalia that they do, you know, run the risk of having a higher rate of transmission to their partner. So I have HSV2 down there. So when it comes to being intimate with someone, I need to move along the side of caution, right? Great. Now, I want to get into some more notes. I have notes. I don't know if you can see my notes at for HSV1 transmission. Now, I couldn't really find too many numbers as far as HSV1 with like penetration, the transmission rates, but it is a lot less frequent than HSV2. And just like I said, I have here my notes, so it's going to be fewer recurrent outbreaks, less frequent viral shedding when you're using protection. So again, condoms, dental dams, and then suppressive therapy. So suppressive therapy, you guys, is your antivirals. Also for those who are going the natural route, the holistic route, your lysine, your monolaurin, your oil oregano, your black seed oil, your zinc, your soursop leaves and whole cloves. You know what I mean? It's going to be about 1% the transmission rate for HSV1 genitally. And this is when we're talking about penetration. Now, even though I'm saying that, okay, you have HSV1 genitally, that does not mean it's less likely that you would transmit it to your partner. Does not mean that it can't happen. Again, I always want you guys to move along the side of caution. Again, so what do? We disclose, we educate, we get tested, we offer to use protection, right? We inform our partners on how frequent our outbreaks are, or what our triggers are. If we recently had an outbreak, we stall it out, right? We wait it out for a few days just to be on the safe side, okay? And keep in mind, we never know when we're viral shedding. But although we don't know when we're viral shedding, and there's also theories on that too, by the way, but we won't get into that. Not today. But I don't want you guys to be like, oh my gosh, I'm probably viral shedding. We don't know. Like, scientists have not been able to really pinpoint when we are and when we aren't. Of course, if you are experiencing prodrome symptoms, okay, it's safe to say that you're probably experiencing some sort of viral shedding at this time, right? So again, that is the pain, the soreness, the tingling, the itching, some people experience hemorrhoids, the fatigue, the nerve pains, the headaches, you know what I mean? Your prodrome symptoms. Figure out what your prodrome symptoms are. Everybody's body is different. Remember that. Also, when you're having an active active outbreak, of course, it's safe to assume that you are shedding. And for ladies, when we are coming onto our menstrual cycle, a lot of women do experience outbreaks around that time, but it's just, even if you don't experience an outbreak, it's just safe to assume that you could possibly be experiencing some viral shedding at that time. Oh, and before I forget what I want to include, I do not want you guys to dismiss this. Let's just say I have HSV2. I met a guy, he has HSV2. And we're like, cool, you know, like, we can do the do. Yeah, and you can be as nasty as you want to be. I encourage it. However, just because we both have HSV2 does not mean that it's safe to go ahead and be intimate whilst having an active outbreak, right? And the reason being is because, yeah, we both have, you know, HSV2 and we're having outbreaks. It's cool, right? We disclose, like, we're cool with it, right? Ain't hurting nobody. First off, I don't know why anyone would want to be intimate and be sweating and have all these bodily fluids when you're having an outbreak, but some people do. Whatever, you get it how you live. The thing is, you can have new outbreak sites. So maybe my outbreak's currently down there. Now me and him just, we had a time, and now I got one on my chin, right? I don't want an outbreak on my chin. I don't want one on my chest. I don't want it on my back. Same thing if he has HSV1, right? And maybe he's having an outbreak and I got an open sore, and now I got HSV1. You know what I mean? Just because you both have it, still do not be intimate while having an active outbreak. I also highly recommend that you all do something, right, to manage your outbreaks. Whether you do take your antivirals. I don't take antivirals anymore, but if that's something that you want to do and you feel secure in doing so, and you've had no problems with taking it, take your antivirals. Or do the lysine monolarin, or do the oil of oregano. You guys know how potent oil of oregano is? That's some strong stuff, baby. Or listen, that will get you right. Black seed oil, another liquid gold, like, you know, your zinc, your vitamin D3, your K2 with your magnesium. Doing these things, you could take drink your soursop leaves and whole cloves tea 3 times a day, right? Do something to manage your outbreaks, right? Because you want to be able to reduce the frequency and the severity and reduce your viral load. And this is for people who aren't trying to actually get rid of it, right? They don't believe in it. They're not really, you know what I mean? They're not trying to change their lifestyle. If you're not, just cool. You can still do these things to help, right? But do something. And if you have a partner who is negative, tell them to start. For one, they can start with the vitamin D3, the K2 and magnesium, boost their immune system. Also get them some vitamin C. They can also do lysine and zinc as well. And to be honest, they can do all of it. They could do the black seed oil, the oil of oregano. They don't have to do as much as we would have to do, right? Because they don't have it. But just to boost their immune system so they can protect themselves even more from contracting HSV from you. Yeah. And I want y'all to understand, there are so many people who have HSV who are in healthy, long-lasting relationships, marriages, who are having unprotected sex with their partners who are negative of HSV, and the partner has never contracted HSV. It is possible. Again, I want you guys to educate yourselves, educate your partners. If you want to use protection, cool, but also to always make sure you guys are getting tested on a regular basis, at least twice a year. But you're able to get freaky, do that. If that's what you desire, it's not something I desire personally, but if that's something that you want to do again, do it. Get ate like a steak. Get that Gok 3000. Listen, do what you need to do. But know the facts before going into it. Okay? But I hope this video was helpful. I just want to take off some of that pressure. I don't want you guys to overthink it, because if you guys are going to engage and be intimate with your partners, I want you to really just let loose and really enjoy that moment, and not let it just be like this dark cloud, right? That's ruining the experience, not just for you but for them as well. So go ahead and get your freak on.